In the frigid expanse of Siberia, where temperatures plummet to a bone-chilling negative 67.7 degrees Celsius, there exists a place so harsh, so unforgiving, that only the most resilient dare to call it home. This place is Oymyakon, a name that might send shivers down your spine just by hearing it. But today, we're not here to talk about the weather, the extreme cold, or the daily survival of its people. Today, we're diving into a gripping survival story that will make you question the limits of human endurance and willpower. This is the story of a man who, against all odds, survived in the depths of this frozen hell, where death seems like an inevitable companion to anyone who dares to step outside in the dead of winter. The winter of 1954 was a time of uncertainty for Ivan, a seasoned hunter who had lived in Oymyakon all his life. He had faced many cold nights before, but none quite like this. Oymyakon was known for its severe winters, where the wind could freeze your breath mid-air and the snow would bury everything in sight. It was a place where even the sturdiest animals could succumb to the cold, and yet Ivan had survived all these years. He knew how to navigate the bitter landscape, how to find shelter when the blizzards hit, and how to ration his resources. But that winter, something was different. Something far more sinister was about to unfold. One morning, Ivan set out for a hunting trip with his dogs. It was supposed to be a routine excursion. He'd been out many times before, traversing the wilds of Siberia in search of game. But this time, the weather took an unexpected turn. It started with a light snow, the kind that dusts the landscape in a blanket of white, making everything appear peaceful. But it didn't stay that way. The wind began to pick up, and the snow turned into a fierce blizzard that howled like a wolf, cutting through the air with razor-sharp precision. Ivan had seen storms like this before, but none had come with such force. He tried to push forward, but the visibility quickly diminished to near zero. The snow swallowed him whole, and soon he couldn't tell where he was. His instincts told him to find shelter, and fast, but there was nothing in sight, just an endless sea of white. After what felt like hours, Ivan spotted something through the thick snow, a faint outline of a shack. It was small, abandoned, and likely a hunting shelter long forgotten by time. The shack was his only chance. He and his dogs managed to stumble inside, where they huddled together for warmth. But there was no firewood, no food, and no sign of anyone ever having been there for years. The only thing that kept them alive was the meager shelter it provided against the storm outside. As the snowstorm raged on, Ivan realized that he was trapped. The storm was relentless, and he had no way of knowing how long it would last. He couldn't venture out into the blizzard for fear of losing himself completely in the whiteout. The temperature outside had already dipped so low that the air itself seemed to freeze. The frost began to form on the inside of the shack, turning everything it touched into a glimmering sheet of ice. Ivan's breath became shallow, his fingers numb, and his body began to slow down. With each passing hour, the cold crept further into his bones, as though the earth itself was trying to swallow him whole. He had prepared for this kind of isolation before, but this time, the cold was different. It wasn't just an enemy he could withstand, it was a force that gnawed at his very will to survive. His thoughts began to drift. At first, they were filled with memories of his family, his home, and the warmth of his hearth. But soon, his mind became clouded with fatigue, and his hope began to flicker like a candle in a storm. He knew that if he stayed here too long, the cold would claim him. Days passed, and the storm never let up. Ivan's situation grew more desperate. The shack offered no respite from the freezing temperatures, and his food supply had dwindled to nothing. He began to ration what little he had, but it wasn't enough to keep him going. The cold gnawed at his body, stripping away his strength with each passing hour. His body ached with hunger, but the hunger was nothing compared to the slow, creeping sense of hopelessness that had settled in his chest. He started to wonder if he would ever make it out of here alive. The thought of death was ever present, and yet there was something deeper within him, a flicker of defiance, a whisper telling him to hold on, to keep fighting, to survive. But then something remarkable happened. After what felt like an eternity, Ivan's dog, his loyal companion, began to stir. The dog had been unusually quiet for days, but now it seemed to sense something. Ivan, weak and on the verge of collapse, gathered what little strength he had left and stumbled outside with the dog by his side. The snowstorm had subsided and the world was eerily still. Through the thick, unbroken blanket of snow, Ivan saw a light in the distance. It was faint at first, just a flicker, but but it grew stronger as he moved forward. It was his village, his home. Ivan pushed forward, his every effort a monumental effort. His body screamed in protest, but he ignored it. The cold was unbearable, the wind biting at his face like shards of ice, but Ivan didn't care. He couldn't stop now. His mind was set on one thing: survival. As he stumbled closer to the village, his vision blurred and his legs gave way beneath him. But just as he thought he would collapse, his dog gave a sharp bark, pulling him forward. Ivan found himself falling into the arms of the villagers who had been searching for him, fearing the worst. They rushed him inside, where warmth and life returned to his frozen limbs. Ivan had survived, against all odds, and though he was weak, his spirit was unbroken. His story became a legend in Oymyakon, a tale of survival, of human resilience, and the incredible strength of the will to live. Ivan's journey through the storm, his struggle against the cold, was a story that would be passed down through generations. It wasn't just about the physical hardships he faced, it was about the mental fortitude, the sheer will to survive that kept him going when everything seemed lost.
As Ivan recovered, he often sat by the fire, recounting his ordeal to anyone who would listen. He spoke not of the cold or the snowstorm, but of the moments when he thought about giving up and how he chose to keep moving forward instead. The cold may freeze your body, he would say, but your will, your determination, that's something no storm can take away from you. These words became his legacy. Today, Oymyakon is still one of the coldest places on Earth, but it is also a place where stories like Ivan's continue to inspire those who call it home. In a land where the cold could kill you at any moment, Ivan's story is a reminder that as long as you have the will to survive, nothing is truly impossible. It's a lesson that we can all carry with us, whether in the frozen tundra of Siberia or in the challenges we face every day. If you were inspired by Ivan's incredible story of survival, if you believe that even in the harshest of conditions, hope can still thrive, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey of uncovering more stories of human strength and perseverance. Don't miss out on future videos that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Stay strong and never stop pushing forward.